कीट शब्द क्या बोले, शिरोभूषण रहता है। क्या बोले, शिरोभूषण रहता है। कीट शब्द की अर्थ होता है शिरोभूषण, द ऑर्नामेंट्स ऑफ द क्राउन। शब्द का अक्षरिक अर्थ होता है ये शिरोभूषण, शिरोभूषण। रासलीला को कथा, उसमें
So we're speaking about the Rasalila Katha. So the beginning of Rasalila Katha, Shukadeva Goswami says Badarayani. Badarayani means what? What does Badarayani mean? Means the son of Vyasadeva. The son of Vyasadeva, he is known as Badarayani. Just like Krishna, sorry, Ram is called Dasharathi. Ramchandra, the son of Dasharath Maharaj. Although he had 4 sons, Dasharathi means Ramchandra. Just like when you say Kaurav, the son of Kuru is called Kaurav. But when you say Kaurav, especially you're indicating the son of Dhritarashtra. Means Duryodhana and Dushasana specifically are called Kauravas. And when you say Pandav, you refer to the sons of Pandu. Means Yudhishthira, Bhim, Arjuna, Kula, Sahadev. Do you understand? But if you say Kaurav, actually also referred to the sons of Pandu, because the Pandus are also from the Kuru Vamsha, dynasty of Kuru. But when the Shastra explains about Kaurav, this specifically means the sons of Dhritarashtra. Refers specifically to the sons of Dhritarashtra.
भागवत गीता में पहले श्लोक में धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्र समवेता जुयुत्सव मामका पांडवस्ते मेरे पुत्रों
My sons and the sons of Pandu. First look of Bhagavad Gita.
वह कुरुक्षेत्र में धर्मक्षेत्र में उपस्थित होकर के उन्होंने क्या किया?
What did they do when they came to the pious pilgrimage place known as Kurukshetra? So in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in many places of the Gita, Arjun was addressed as Kaurava by Krishna. So we are listening in this context. The beginning of the Bhagavatam says Shri Badrayani Uvacha. In some Bhagavatam also explains Shri Shuka Uvacha instead of Badarayani Uvacha. So actually Uvacha means to speak. Like Shukadeva says,
बादरायणी शब्द के द्वारा
But if you call Shukadeva Badarayani, you are actually showing some sweetness. Is also mentioned, is also referring to the same Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Krishna Dvapayana Vedavyas,
ये सुखदेव उसी की
Shukadev. So he is called Badarayani.
बादरायणी कहने की ये विशेष
But the speciality, the special confidential reason of being called Badarayani,
ये शिला
Shukadeva Goswami being called Badarayani, is that Shivyasadev,
माने कठोर परिश्रम आदि के द्वारा
he performed so much austerities,
जो पुत्र को
and
जन्म दिया
like so much hard endeavors, he had this son, Shukadeva. So the word Badarayani mentions all this,
क्योंकि
like,
डायरेक्ट शब्द
means that this.
होकर के जहाँ पर परोक्षवाद शब्द होता है
But when you speak something indirectly, not directly,
माधुर्यता
it's special sweet to say something indirectly, more than speaking directly. Like for example, if you say,
उन्होंने कठोर तपस्या आदि कर
okay, Vyasadeva performed hard austerities in the jungle, in the forest,
अमूल्य धन
and he got
प्राप्त किया
the highest jewel, the greatest jewel in the form, in the shape of a son. Vyasadeva got the greatest jewel in the shape of his own son.
इसमें बादरायणी कहने
So when you say Badarayani, actually is referring to all this thing, is relating
इसके द्वारा
to
न बेर के
how
जंगल में
in the jungle of Bear, I think maybe one kind of tree, Vyasadeva performed hard austerities, and he got this greatest jewel of this son, Shukadeva Goswami.
इसलिए उनके नाम दिया क्या
So that's why his name was given. Which name?
उनके नाम
Another name of Shukadeva is Badarayani.
है ये भी है किंतु बद्रीनारायण में वहाँ पर कहाँ पर स्थान है?
Yeah, but Badrinarayan also refers to this tree, someone who did austerity like
घन
under this tree of Badri, but
ये संस्कृत जो है
sorry, Gurudev just spoke, but I spoke on top of him. I didn't hear what Gurudev said, sorry.
क्योंकि सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद
Shukadeva Goswami,
की जो आविर्भाव आदि जो है
the appearance of Shukadeva Goswami Pad,
ये सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद की आविर्भाव व प्रकट जो है
his appearance,
साक्षात राधारानी की हो
actually he
पात्र थे
directly the recipient of mercy of Srimati Radhika. Who? Shukadeva Goswami. That's why he is also called
बार बार
Shri Sukha, the parrot of Srimati Radhika. He is the parrot of Srimati Radhika. Many times also we hear and speak about this.
राधा
How?
जी की वो
This
पालित जो सुख जो है
parrot of Srimati Radhika, taken care of by Srimati Radhika, this parrot himself is
व्यासदेव के पुत्र के रूप
has come as the son of Vyasadeva
गोस्वामी पाद रूप की प्रकट हुए
in the form of Shukadeva Goswami Pad.
इसलिए और ऐसे सुंदर सुखदेव गोस्वामी पद के व्यासदेव जी ने उनकी क्या की ना भागवत की कथा श्रवण कराया
So Vyasadeva told this
सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद ही
his son Shukadeva Goswami Bhagavad Katha.
के सभा में
So Shukadeva Goswami, he told all this in the assembly of Parikshit Maharaj.
परिनिष्ठित हो पहले
He said, before I was,
ब्रह्म लीन में
I wanted merge in Brahma,
राजीव व्यासदेव के
but
ऐसे सुंदर भागवत कथा की श्रवण
when I heard the beautiful katha of the Bhagavatam from my guru, from my father, sorry, Vyasadeva, then I stopped meditating in Brahma.
तात्पर्य ये होता है
So the meaning is just like the father,
सारे
a father,
धन को जो है
a father will give his highest jewels and wealth to the most qualified son that he has. his most qualified son.
कहीं कहीं ऐसे भी देखा जाता है कि जो
Sometimes we see if the son is not qualified,
पुत्र के नहीं देख करके
then the father
व्यक्ति की ही वो
will not give his wealth to his son, but will give to another person who is more qualified. There are many stories in the Mahabharata about this. For example, if his son is a drunkard
दुराचारी हो,
or like
समझ जाते हैं
a wicked person or doing bad things, the father will think, I have, with so much effort, I have gotten all this wealth, and so if I give all this to an unqualified son, there's no benefit, and all my efforts will be in vain, isn't it?
ठीक उसी प्रकार
So in the same way,
व्यासदेव गोस्वामी ने जो अत्यंत त्याग वैराग्य आदि के
Vasudeva Goswami, with so much
अमूल्य धन को
tyag and vairagya, renunciation, he got this highest jewel.
क्या मन धन
Jewel, which jewel? He had got Krishna Bhakti.
संवाद में स्पष्टीकरण कर दिया
Like Narada Vyasamvada explains, it explains, by the mercy of Narada ji,
व्यासदेव ने ऐसे अमूल्य धन को प्राप्त किया
Vasudeva obtained the greatest wealth.
कौन सा अमूल्य धन
Which greatest wealth?
लीला और कृष्ण प्रेम को ने प्राप्त
Krishna Lila, Krishna Prem, he attains.
उसको उसने किसको दे करके दिया
So to whom he would give that?
इसको लगा
Put that.
किसको दे करके दिया है अर्थात अपने कठोर परिश्रम की जो धन
So this wealth of his hard austerity, hard work, to whom he would give to?
सुखदेव के जो है दे करके जा रहा है
Okay, so he was going to give to his qualified son, Shukadeva.
ब्रह्म ज्ञान में जा रहे थे
So, but first of all, Shukadeva was going to Brahmagyan. So how to pull him back from the Brahmagyan, from the knowledge of Brahma, and
रिटर्न बैक
how to return him back, make him return back.
वापस लेकर के फिर कृष्ण प्रेमारूपी भक्ति में उसको सरावर करार सरावर बोलते हैं ना
And how to make him
मर्ज
completely submerge him in the Krishna Bhakti,
लव ऑफ कृष्ण
in the divine love of Krishna.
आज
Understand?
यदि कहो वो तो ब्रह्मज्ञानी है इसको क्यों आप योग्य
If you say, but he was going for Brahmagyan, he was Brahmagyani, how you say he is qualified?
और योग्य की भी योग्यता बना
But actually those who are very great personalities, they make their own qualifying person become qualified, and then they give this highest thing to them. Just like Mahaprabhu, for example, he was giving Prem. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving the Prem? How?
चैतन्य महाप्रभु जो प्रगट यथा तथा प्रेम प्रचारीला प्रेम की तो दे रहे किंतु
He was giving Prem, yes, but Mahaprabhu was not giving just like this. First of all, he was making the person qualified, then he was given.
नहीं तो कहा जाता है जैसे
Otherwise, it would be just like
घी के यदि
if you
छाई भस्म में डाल दिया जाए
put pour the ghee in some ashes,
नहीं हुआ
then this is not proper use of the ghee, okay?
घी को कहाँ पर डालने पर
So where should you pour the ghee, and what is it proper for you to pour ghee? On the fire.
अग्नि में
So when you're performing fire sacrifice,
और डाला जाए
if you offer the ghee,
घी के क्या होता है
so then the ghee is being well used. It's proper to do that. But if you just pour ghee anywhere, like it's not proper. So with so much effort you bought the ghee, or maybe like you make the ghee, like you kept the cow, you fed the cow, then from the cow you got the milk, then from the milk you have made the yogurt, turned the yogurt, then you made the butter, then after that you got the ghee from the butter.
घी गाय से प्राप्त नहीं हुई
So you didn't directly just obtain the ghee from the cow, it has a process, So the process was so difficult to get the ghee.
उस घी को यथार्थ स्थान पर
So you have to use the ghee properly, isn't it?
तुम्हारे परिश्रम क्या
And if you do that, all your efforts will be successful, like will be will be worth. Everything you did will be worth.
कैसे कठोर परिश्रम किया
So
योगन मनुष्य
Vasudeva Goswami also, he performed so much austerities and efforts. What? Like he performed bhakti yoga.
देव ने किया कि नारद जी के
Vasudeva, by the mercy of Narada ji,
योग के अनुशीलन किया
he practiced bhakti yoga.
के भांति एक
Just like a sadhaka, he was performing this leela of practicing bhakti yoga.
समझ गया
Do you understand?
ऐसे जो भक्ति योग अवलंबन करके
So he followed Bhakti Yoga
उन्होंने क्या कि
and then he
कृष्ण को देखा
saw Krishna.
और कृष्ण परिकरों को देखा
He saw the associates of Krishna also.
पश्चात जीवों को
And
देखा
he also saw the jivas.
के साथ
And then
भगवान की माया की माया शक्ति को देखा
he also saw Maya Shakti.
इस प्रकार जीव
And then he saw how the jivas,
माया के द्वारा मोहित होकर के
they are under the illusion of Maya and suffering in this material world.
उन्होंने देखा क्या
And also he has seen as well how the jivas,
माया से विमुक्त होकर के
they also,
की प्रेम भक्ति के
they can turn away from Maya and also and attain Bhagavat Prem.
उन्होंने प्राप्ति किया
So how did he did attain all this with sadhan,
और वही साधन
with the effort of sadhan.
साध्य वस्तु प्राप्ति हुई साधन के द्वारा
So he obtained through sadhan all this.
प्राप्ति हुई
He obtained the gold through sadhan.
किसको दे रहे हैं
So now he wants to give this prem, he's giving it to Shukadeva Goswami Pad.
विचार में हम देखते
So if analyzing Mahaprabhu's conception also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave prem to everyone.
तो अति सरल
But to speak is very easy, like, oh, okay, he gave to everyone. But how Mahaprabhu was giving this prem to everyone?
वैष्णव भी नहीं दे रहे
He was not giving this prem to ashes. Mahaprabhu was, first of all, he was
प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार करके
preparing the platform for the jiva.
तैयार करके
So he was performing the platform in the heart of the Bada Jivas. Then Mahaprabhu was giving the prem to them. Okay?
हैं? ये महाप्रभु जो प्रेम प्रदान कर रहे हैं कहाँ
So Mahaprabhu was giving prem,
क्षेत्र प्रदान करके
but first was giving the platform, Chitra. Was making the platform in the heart of the conditioned soul.
डिस्ट्रीब्यूट द प्रेम एक शब्द से कहा देते हैं
Then he's distributing the prem. So sometimes we say Mahaprabhu is giving to everyone. We say like this.
अनधिकार विचार
Even not considering those who are qualified or not, he's giving to everyone. But there is a confidential also meaning, and if you analyze deeply, Mahaprabhu is giving this prema how?
जैसे कृषक
Just like, for example, a farmer,
खेती में बीज बोते हैं
he's sowing the seeds on the land.
पहले खेती को क्या करना पड़ता
But first of, before sowing the seeds, you have to fertilize the soil.
है हल चलाना पड़ता
You have to, for example, plow the fields,
है पत्थर आदि से लेकर
and you have to remove all the stones from the fields and from the land. Means all the undesirable stuff which is there, maybe mixed in the soil, you must
फेंकना पड़ता है
throw it out, like have to uproot from the ground soil and throw it away. Then you can sow. Then you can also plant the seed.
सीधी बात तो महाप्रभु ऐसे नहीं है जैसे हम लोग
So-
कहते हैं ये महाप्रभु ऐसे ही दे रहे हैं ऐसे
Generally say that Mahaprabhu is just giving, but indiscriminately. But Mahaprabhu is not foolish as like us.
जहाँ तहाँ बीज वपन कर दो
Like we sow it everywhere and like this. No, how Mahaprabhu is giving.
अच्छा लग रहे हैं
We like to listen. We like to hear that Mahaprabhu is giving prem to everyone. It's nice to hear that. We like to hear it.
यथा तथा प्रेम प्रेम प्रदान करेगा in the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not discriminate which qualified unqualified, just he giving to everyone. But how is giving everyone? कैसे महाप्रभु दे रहे हैं
How Mahaprabhu is giving.
जीवों की क्षेत्र हृदय की क्षेत्र जो है उसको क्या करते हैं उसके योग्य बना करते हैं
He is making the platform for these jivas to become qualified. Then Mahaprabhu is giving to them.
विशेषता है
This is the speciality of Mahaprabhu.
अधिकार
Whether the person is qualified or not,
बना
Mahaprabhu makes the person become qualified.
जैसे एक व्यक्ति
Just like one person, suppose a person is very generous,
दूध वो सबको दे रहे हैं
the person is giving milk to everyone, suppose.
कंटेनर है
But if he's giving only to those who have a container, like a pot or like a glass, a cup. So, but for those who don't have any container, Mahaprabhu or that person is giving the milk and the recipient to drink the milk. So he's making the heart qualified.
कंटेनर बना करके महाप्रभु उसमें ऐसे अमूल्य
Then Mahaprabhu is giving this highest Krishna prem.
यही हमारे गोस्वामी वर्ग की विचार है
This is the conception of our Goswamis.
जैसे बंजार भूमि में
Just like the infertile soil,
क्या बना पड़ता है
you cannot sow a seed in a soil which is not fertile.
इंग्लिश में कहते हैं बैरन
Barren lands, like a barren land.
बैरन लैंड जिसमें कुछ घास पर नहीं है
There's not even grass in this soil. Completely,
फर्टिलाइज करना पड़ता
you have to fertilize it before sowing the
है
seeds.
दे करके
Putting chemicals and other things,
सॉल्टी जो है जो कुछ भी रहा है
salts and other things.
पता है कुछ माटी को मिट्टी को जो उखाड़ करके फेंक
You have to maybe remove some soil
फर्टिलाइज करा
and then you have to fertilize it. Then
उपजाऊ होता है
it will
है कि नहीं?
like be able to
तात्पर्य क्या है? महाप्रभु जो प्रेम प्रदान
grow things in that land. So Mahaprabhu, he's making the jivas Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriba.
अमानिनो मानदेनो कीर्तनियो सदा है। यही महाप्रभु जो क्षेत्र बनाते हैं ये 4 इंग्रेडिएंट्स के द्वारा।
So 4 ingredients, with these 4 ingredients, Mahaprabhu is preparing the soil of the devotees' hearts. So how to fertilize the soil of the jivas? Mahaprabhu with these 4 ingredients. Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriba Sahitna Amanina Manana. 4 ingredients were there.
Pardon? महाप्रभु बना रहे हैं।
Mahaprabhu is making qualified.
इंग्रेडिएंट्स देकर के क्षेत्र साधे पद्धति के हृदय में काम क्रोध आदि भरा रहता है।
So the jivas, the sadhakas, they have so much lust and anger. How come they will be more humble than a blade of grass and like humble as like a tree, and they have so much
इसलिए महाप्रभु
many anarthas. And so what Mahaprabhu is doing?
उनकी कृपा करके उनके हृदय में
He's giving mercy,
जो बताया त्रिनादति
and these 4 ingredients that I mentioned,
देन से ही
Trinadapi Sunich,
दीनहीन बना
making them more humble than a blade of grass,
पेड़ से भी
and even also
बना दिया।
more tolerant than a tree.
पेड़ से तो अधिक नहीं होता है,
Sorry, not more tolerant than a tree, tolerant as like a tree, okay, as like a tree.
और अमानी
And the money means also make them money, not hankering for their own name, fame, and reputation, and giving this name, fame, and reputation to others.
and how to give respect to others।
How to give respect to others.
ये बता। तो इसी प्रकार कहते हैं ठीक उसी प्रकार हम जिस
So in this way,
ये वैष्णव जी ने ऐसे जे अमूल्य प्रेम धन को प्राप्त किया।
Vyasadeva got this highest jewel from Narada.
चतुर्मुख ब्रह्मा ही थे, नारद और नारद हुई थे वैश्य, तो नारद ठाकुर से
So from Narada Rishi,
ऐसे अमूल्य धन को प्राप्त
Vyasadeva got this highest
और वही
jewel.
धन थे जो अपने कठोर तपस्या आदि के द्वारा
And with so much his hard austerities, he attained this highest jewel. So he's giving this highest jewel to whom? To his own son, Shukadeva Goswami Pad.
कैसे दे रहे हैं?
And how he's giving to Shukadeva Goswami Pad? Because here we see that Vyasadeva Goswami himself, he said,
पहले ब्रह्मवादी
before I was Brahmavadi, I was absorbing this effulgence,
मुझे क्या किया?
but my father,
कृष्ण कथा आदि को पान अमृत को पान करा
he made me drink Krishna Katha.
हृदय के वजह
And in this way, my father, he has made my heart full of rasa, mellows, and
ब्रह्म ज्ञान के
then I gave up the Brahma Gyan at that moment.
और ब्रह्म ज्ञान के छोड़ करके
I gave up Brahma Gyan,
धन को मैं प्राप्त किया।
and I attained this wealth
वही
also.
कहते जा रहे हैं यहाँ पर बादरानी शब्द के द्वारा
So here, by the word Badarayani,
हो रहा है। बादरानी शब्द के तात्पर्य ये है
the meaning of the word Badarayani is that,
वैष्णव के पुत्र बादरानी
but the son of Vyasadeva is Badarayani,
प्रेम धन को प्रदान
Shukadeva. So he gave this highest wealth to his son.
है। श्रील सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद परीक्षित महाराज की ही
And this is also, this greatest wealth is what Shukadeva Goswami is telling Parikit Maharaj.
बादरानी शब्द की अर्थ यह है।
So this is the meaning of the word Badarayani used. So see,
पुत्र होने के लिए बादरानी
so the son of Vyasadeva is Badarayani. But behind this word Badarayani, there are so many,
स्टोरी बना हुआ है,
so many stories, right?
तात्पर्य बना हुआ है।
Meanings, why the word Badarayani? So, okay, continue.
थोड़ा बहुत
Let's discuss each word.
भगवान
So, Bhagavana Opi. Bhagavan means,
सूचित हो रहा है।
is indicating Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna.
ओपी शब्द के द्वारा
By the word Opi
ये भगवान के अनेक तो अवतार
means that Bhagavan has many avatars. This is true.
और सब अवतार बड़ी क्या है, पूर्ण भी माना जाता है।
And all the avatars, they are full.
पूर्ण से जो कुछ निकलते हैं सब पूर्ण है, पूर्ण पूर्ण से
Anything that comes from a complete person is also complete.
दीपार की रेख जिस
So the example is just like the candle. So imagine a candle or one ghee wicks, lit ghee wick. So if you light a candle,
दीपक की जो अग्नि जो है वो पूर्णता ही होता है। किंतु देखो इसमें भी एक विशेष वैशिष्ट्य होता है।
So it's complete, but there's also one speciality.
मूल एक दीपक होता है।
There's one original candle, and from this
हजारों दीपक
original candle you can also light thousands of other candles. Do you understand?
मूल एक दीपक होता है।
So one main candle or giwi, like a lamp. So this is Shloka of Brahma Samhita. Jata Departure Eva. There's the one main candle or candle like a lamp, and then from this main candle you can light many other also candles. So this one is first is original Krishna. The Brahma Samhita explains Govindam Adi Purusham. Govinda is Adi Purush, and all the avatars manifested from him.
जितने रामादि मूर्तिषु कला नियमेन तिष्ठन् नाना अवतारो मकरोद् भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्ण संग परम भगवत परम पुमानं गोविंद आदि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि। स्वयं भगवान बलिराम और उन्होंने क्या कि अपने
So Swayam Bhagavan Brajanandan Shama Sundara, we face inconceivable potency.
अनेक जो अवतार आदि को उन्होंने
He
प्रकट किया,
manifested many avatars.
किंतु सब अवतार वाली कृष्ण से अभिन्न है।
But all these avatars, they are not different from Krishna,
किंतु प्रकाश
and they are complete.
है वो अलग अलग स्वरूप आदि प्रकाश में जा रहे हैं।
But sometimes they manifest different forms according to time, place, and circumstance. But they are not
पूर्ण से जो कुछ निकालता है वो पूर्ण ही होता है।
different, because actually everything that comes from a complete person is also complete.
इन्फिनिट माइनस इन्फिनिट इक्वल इन्फिनिट है। उसी प्रकार जितने भी अवतार आदि जो है राम कृष्ण जो अवतार,
So in the same way, all the avatars, Ram, Krishna, they are not different from Krishna. They are not different from Krishna.
पूर्ण भी है।
They are also complete.
पूर्णता की एक विशेष प्रकाश विशेष में दिखा पाते हैं। पूर्ण की जैसे हम जब ग्रेडेशन करते जा रहे हैं।
But if you give some gradation in the complete, there's complete, more complete, and most complete.
ये पूर्णतम प्रकाश
So Purnatama Prakash is Krishna. The most complete manifestation is Krishna.
किंतु सब पूर्ण है।
But actually all the other avatars are also Purna, complete.
थोड़ा ग्रेडेशन करते हैं।
But we are giving some gradation in the completes.
पूर्ण इसे कृष्ण के
You know.
कहा जाता है पूर्णतम है, यूनिक एंड
So Krishna is unique and unparalleled. He's Asamurda Tattva.
ये शब्द प्रयोग होते जा रहे हैं।
So use this word for referring to Krishna. Krishna is complete. Asamurda Tattva.
समान भी नहीं है कोई,
There's no one like him.
ऊपर भी कोई नहीं।
No one also higher than him. Asamurda Tattva is called.
आदि कृष्ण से अभिन्न है।
Narayan is not different from Krishna. He's also complete.
रस विचार के तत्व रस विचार से
But according to Rasa Vichara, Krishna is
पूर्णतम रूप में ही प्रकाशित है।
manifest in a Purnatama form. Like Krishna is Asamurda Tattva, is unique and unparalleled, and he's the origin,
नाना अवतार
and he's the most complete.
कृष्ण संग परम पुमाण गोविंद आदि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यही गोविंद जो कृष्ण
This Govinda Krishna
पूर्णतम रूप में प्रकट, आगे जाकर के इसके हम भी
is the most complete. So when we speak about the heroes, also we discuss this.
प्रकरण में ये भी
Naika Prakaran. So when we speak about the types of hero, our Srila Rupa Goswami he also described.
और नायिका प्रकरण में कहाँ पर है?
In the Naika and Nayak and Naika Prakaran means explanation about the heroes and heroines.
प्रकरण में
In the Jaunidamani book, Rupa Goswami described very clearly
ये वर्णनंदन कृष्ण
that Brajendranandan Krishna he is Asamurda
शब्द
Tattva.
बताया,
Which words I said? Asamurda Tattva. He is unique and unparalleled.
ये शब्द हो रहा है। उसमें भी नायक प्रकरण में थोड़ा हम विश्लेषण कर लेते हैं।
So let's discuss a little bit of
क्लियर
Naika Prakaran so that our subject is clear.
प्रकार के नायक,
So there are 96 types of hero.
उसमें पूर्णतर पूर्णतम कहा
So first of all, you call the you mentioned Purna, Purnatari, Purnatam.
जो है
Like for example, Krishna in Dwaraka, he's Purna, complete. In Mathura, he's Purna, Tara, more complete.
और
And Krishna in Gokul, he's Purnatama, most complete.
कितने हो जाते?
So okay, this is number 3 then, 3 kinds of hero, right? Then
प्रकरण के अनुसार
according to the Naika Prakaran, the heroes, there is 4 divisions. Dhirodhata, Dhir Lalit, Dhir Shanta and Dhiradir. So 4 kinds more.
क्या हो गया?
3 times 4,
को लेकर के
12.
4 into 3 गुना होगा ना सर, 12 हो गया।
So this is 12 types of hero. 3 times 4, it's 12.
अच्छा, फिर
Okay, then
पति के भाग हो रहे हैं।
Pati and Upapati, husband are like paramour moods. Pati and Upapati, husband or paramour mood.
द्वारका में कृष्ण पति के रूप में प्रकाश।
So in Dwaraka, Krishna is as like Pati, like a husband. Krishna is married. And in Vrindavan, Krishna is not married.
गोपियों के लिए क्या है?
So he's like the Upapati, beloved of the gopis.
तो 2 हो गया।
So this is 2 types. So you take this 12 times 2. 12 times 2, it's 24. Okay? Do you understand? So this is the mathematical calculation. Do you understand? And then, so 24. Then there are more 4 kinds of hero also. Anukul Naika, Swat Naika, Dakin Naika, and Drishta Naika. So 4 types. So 24 times 4 is 96. So 96 types of heroes. What happened?
गया 4 हो गया और 24 और 4 कितने हो गया?
Hindi is crashed. Froze. Okay, came back. Okay, so these 96 types of hero.
समझ में आया कि नहीं?
Did you understand or not my calculation? The calculation.
नहीं समझ में।
Didn't understand? Didn't get it?
अरे पहले वो कितने हो गया?
First you write how many?
पूर्णोत्तर पूर्णोत्तम।
Purna, Purnatara and Purnatama. So this is 3.
पूर्णोत्तम कहाँ पर होता है?
So this is what? Purnatama in Gokul.
मथुरा में
In Mathura his Purnatara, more complete, and in Dwaraka his Purna, complete. Okay, so this is 3. Number 3 kinds of hero, isn't it?
और फिर
Then
नाक में भी करे धीरुदत्त
also there's Dhiradatta, Dhiralalit, Dhiradatta and Dhirashanta.
याद करना पड़ेगा।
So
धीर
first
उद्धत
Dhira Udatta,
उदात्त धीर ललित और धीर शांत,
Dhir Lalit and Dhir Shanta.
ये 4
So these are more 4 kinds of.
12 हो गया
So 4 times 3 is 12.
और 12 हो गया ये पति उपपति
Then 2 types, Pati Upapati, husband or paramour. So this 12 times 2, 24. Then Anukul, Sat, Drishta and Dakin, 4 kinds of hero. So there's also 4. So 24 times 4 is 96. 96 types of hero.
है? द्वारका में क्या है?
But in Dwaraka there is no paramour mood, so how are you counting the same calculation? Devotee is asking.
इसलिए कहा जाता है पति भाव रहता है। वृंदावन
They have the Pati Bhav, but in Vrindavana both are there. Both are there. Pati and Upapati, husband and paramour mood.
भाव आगे नायक प्रकरण में नायक प्रकरण में जा करके हम
So if you analyze the Naika Prakaran, the types of heroine, then you discuss this. In Dwaraka it's not there, this is true. In Dwaraka only husband mood. Yeah, what you're saying is very nice. It's true. But
में पति उपपति रह रहे हैं, इसलिए कहे चाचे ने 12 हो गया, इसमें 2 गुना आ रहे हैं। वृंदावन में जैसे कुछ जो है
so
क्या बोले ब्रजगोपियां जो है
some Braja gopis
के पति भाव
in Vrindavan they see Krishna as in a husband mood, Pati Bhav.
दिखा रहे हैं। कुछ लड़कियां जो है
Some girls in Vrindavan
कृष्ण के प्रति
they have for Krishna this mood of husband, Pati Bhav, and
बनमाला आदि देवी कृष्ण के विवाह
they give garland to Krishna and they like think they're like kind of getting married, like Gandharva Vivaha, like Gandharva wedding. And when you say Gandharva, this is Pati Bhav, husband mood. And another point also,
गोपियां जो है
these gopis who
व्रत करके
perform Katyayani Vrat and they wanted to have Krishna as husband, they also went in also this category. So because they wanted to have Krishna as like a husband. The shloka they prayed for Jogamaya, it was telling clearly Katyayani Mahamaya, this shloka, Katyayani Mahamaya.
नंद गोप सुतम में पति में कुतुम
Pati me kurute namaha. I want to have his as husband, not Upapati,
आचार्य लोग
like a paramour. But our Vaishnavas, when they were telling this shloka, they just said Upapati, paramour. But actually the main verse is saying Pati.
वो विषय जो है
So that's why
गुण तात्पर्य हो जाता
actually there's a confidential meaning in the Katayani Vrat, because then becomes Pati and Upapati.
है। हम यदि डायरेक्ट रूप में जाए,
If you see directly in the Bhagavatam,
कात्यायनी व्रत करने की जो उनकी उपलक्ष्य क्या था?
what is the goal of the gopis when they did Katayani Vrat? They wanted Pati Bhav, Krishna as a husband.
देखेंगे
So if you analyze the commentaries, it also explains
व्रत करने वाले जो सब वहाँ पर महिषी में जल में चले जाते हैं।
those who were doing this Katayani Vrat, they go for the Mahishis, queens of Dwarka.
इसलिए हमारे कोई गोस्वामी जो है,
That's why our Goswamis,
इसलिए वो क्या बोले कात्यायनी व्रत नहीं करते।
they didn't perform Katayani Vrat.
कात्यायनी व्रत करने पर
If you perform Katayani Vrat,
मान करते हैं,
okay, we honor that, like respect it,
मंत्र की उच्चारण
but
अलग हो जाए,
maybe you pronounce that mantra not properly, and then you have to go where? You have to go to Dwaraka to stay under the guidance of the Mahishis. You won't go to Braj.
समझ में आते हैं?
Do you understand or not?
पूरा तात्पर्य समझ नहीं पाते।
People don't understand the confidential meaning.
डायरेक्ट रूप में एक बार गुरुदेव जी मैंने
Once I've asked directly to Gurudev about this.
बहुत लोग हमारे संस्था में जो है
Many people in our institution, they are performing Katayani Vrat and also Puja.
आचार्य लोग क्यों नहीं किया?
But why our previous acharyas didn't perform this also?
भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी,
Bhakti Pragyani Keshav Goswami Maharaj and also
भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी, केवल भक्तिहंत प्रभुपाद,
Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Prabhupada, all the associates of Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada also.
वो लोग क्यों कात्यायनी व्रत क्यों नहीं किया?
Why didn't they do Katayani Vrat?
हैं?
Why didn't they do Katayani Vrat?
उसमें करते जाओ,
Because
मंत्र की थोड़ी भाव जो है उसमें क्या प्रतिभाव रह जाएगा?
because there is a little bit some Pati Bhav, husband mood in this mantra. So who did Katayani Vrat?
कुछ जो है कृष्ण के प्रति प्रतिभाव रखने
Some
वाले,
sadhanas see the gopis, they wanted Krishna as
कृष्ण के प्रति
they had some Pati Bhav,
ऊपर से नहीं दिखाई,
husband mood towards Krishna. Externally you may not see, but internally in the heart they had some sadhana see the
इसी के
gopis.
लोग समझ नहीं पाते।
So people don't understand this.
हम गुरुदेव के जो है स्पष्टीकरण के मैंने
So I've asked directly Gurudev about this clearly.
गुरुदेव ने कहा जिसको
Gurudev said, those who want to go to Dwaraka and becomes like in the Mahishi mood, okay. I heard this directly from Gurudev. I asked him directly. Okay, those who are doing, okay, I will not oppose.
अपने भावना रुचि के स्वर करते जाए।
Every jiva does everything according to their own taste and desire, so no problem. Those who want to do, let them do.
साधन सिद्धा तो क्या कुछ उसने किया?
So some sadhana siddha they did, yes, but the other ones, Shastra explains that Radha, Lalita, the Nitya Siddha gopis, they did not perform Katayani Vrat, did not.
अंतिम के दिन जो
But in the last day of the Katayani Vrat, on the last day, Ujapan, it's called the last day. How do you call Ujapan? Anyway,
के दिन
the last day,
जो है गोपियां जो कात्यायनी व्रत कर रही थी,
the gopis who were performing Katayani Vrat, they called the Nitya Siddha gopis.
और उस दिन कृष्ण जो है
They called like Radha, Lalita, etc. And that day was the day where Krishna stole the clothes of the gopis, clothes, the garments.
तो वही वस्त्र
So for
एक वस्त्र होकर के
like
स्नान आदि किया।
29 days, they were taking bath and Krishna didn't steal their clothes or anything. But on the last day, also to give many teachings and many things, Krishna appeared and stole the clothes of the gopis on that last day.
महत्व आ गया। इसके ये लीला की वैशिष्ट्य दिखाया।
So the speciality of this lila we can see.
इसलिए हम वृंदावन में इसे कहा जाता
So
है पोती उपपत्ति के भाव आ रहा है।
in Vrindavan, the Pati Bhav might be there, husband and paramour moods.
उपपत्ति भाव।
So in Vrindavan there is also,
कहा जाता है कुछ जो है
because exactly some gopis,
भाव तो नहीं,
they hadn't gotten married, but they had Pati Bhav, husband mood towards Krishna.
कौन गोपियां?
Which kind of gopis? Those gopis who had
कात्यायनी व्रत किया।
performed Katayani Vrat.
ये सब लोग नहीं
Katayani Vrat. Not all the gopis. Okay, some, okay, but understand or not?
तुम कार्य पोती
Because
बेकूते नमः
maybe one person is chanting the mantra along and one person is chanting Uppati Bhav, like husband mood, but the other is also chanting the mantra along, but is saying Uppapati Bhav, paramour mood. This also happens.
मंत्र के इसलिए गुरुदेव को वहाँ पर पूजा करते हैं।
That's why Gurudev, when he used to do puja, he never said Pati Kurati Namaha, husband, I want Krishna as husband. He said Uppapati, like husband, like paramour.
अधिष्ठात्री तो वही तो फल दे देंगे।
Because if you say Pati Bhav, then the dates of the mantra will give you the fruit as like
मंत्र
husband mood towards Krishna.
इसी प्रकार ही आपको देंगे।
So the fruit of the mantra you will get accordingly to what you want. So what you are pronouncing also according to the mantra. So this is very important.
कतई व्रत करने का हम मना नहीं कर रहे,
I'm not prohibiting anyone to perform Katani Vrat. We're not against also.
अपने भाव में
So you go according to your own taste and your moods. It's okay.
पति के जगह में क्या लिखो आप, क्या
So instead of saying Pati, husband, you say Uppapati Kurta Namaha. Krishna is like Paramore. So if you have to do, then you can do also like this, for example. But if you
आ जाए,
speak Pati Kurta Namaha, Krishna is like husband, then you get these moods. Then you go to the Sakya.
ये विचार है। तो यहाँ पर आ जाइए, क्योंकि हम नायक प्रकरण में भी इसको भी
So in the Naika Prakaran,
प्रकरण
in the heroine division, we see how many also heroines are there. Heroines. So okay. So we were saying about types of hero. Or then okay. So then 24 heroes. Then 4 kinds. Anukul, Shat,
प्रकार के नायक कहा था।
Dishta, and Dakin. So 4 kinds of hero. So 24 times 4, 96 types of hero are there. Okay.
96 types of नायक प्रकरण।
So there are 96 types of Naika Prakaran, types of hero.
प्रकरण में हम
So now let's go to, so first Nayak Prakaran, now Naika Prakaran, heroine. So 360 types of Naikas, heroines.
नायक प्रकरण में भी
So,
फिर अभी आ रहे हैं आपके जो संशय जो हो रहा है,
so this question you have here will be solved, will be answered. There are 2 kinds of heroines, Swakiya and Parakiya,
विवाहिता और
married mode and
कृष्ण के प्रति
no married.
के जो पति भाव आदि रखने वाले,
Some gopis had the husband mood towards Krishna.
तो इसी प्रकार कहते हैं सब क्या
So,
प्रक्रिया कितने हो गया,
Swakiya Parakiya is 2 types,
अभी
so
फिर
2.
आ जाइए,
Then
मुग्धा प्रगल्भा,
3 kinds, Madhyam, Mugdha, Pragalbha.
मध्या मुग्धा प्रगल्भा, ये 3 हो गया,
So this is 3 kinds of moods also. So 2 times 3 equals
6 हो जाता है,
6.
समझ में आता
Do you understand?
है। और एक होता है क्या,
One is,
हाँ इसमें भी एक विशेष रहस्य भी छिपा हुआ है,
so there's also a hidden
प्रकार का होता है,
thing here.
3 प्रकार का,
Madhyam has 3 types, Pragalbha 3 types, and Mugdha 1 kind.
तो 3 3 6
So 3 plus 3, 6 plus 1, 7. So actually it's 7 times 2 is 14 actually.
थोड़ा आपको लिखना पड़ेगा, या
So you have to write it, otherwise you not remember.
7 14 हो गया,
So 7 plus times 2, 14. But actually there's one more type, Kanyaka.
ना का उसके कहा जाता है,
So Kanyaka is that gopi who
नहीं
hasn't gotten married, or maybe she's not yet qualified for marriage.
जो को कब माना जाता है,
So when you are qualified for a wedding, for marriage,
वो कहा
when
जाता है,
the
क्या शब्द, स्त्री धर्म की प्राप्ति होने के
when
बाद होता है,
the girl gets her periods, then she's qualified for getting married.
क्या बोलते हैं, स्त्री धर्म प्राप्ति नहीं हो रहा
If you are not, if you hadn't have your periods, then you're called Kanyaka.
है, कन्या का किसको मानेंगे,
So who is Kanyaka? This kind of gopi.
जिसके स्त्री धर्म
Some gopi who hasn't had her period yet, first period. Okay. So this is a Kanyaka girl. Do you understand?
है, स्पष्टीकरण हुआ कि नहीं,
It's clear or not?
समझ में आया, कन्या
Do you understand what is a Kanyaka?
है, जिसके स्त्री धर्म अभी नहीं हुआ,
A girl who hasn't had her first period yet.
विवाह के योग्य नहीं हो रहा,
So she's not qualified for wedding, marriage.
उसको कन्या का माना जाता है,
She's called Kanyaka.
ये हो जाता है,
So 1 kind extra is Kanyaka. So 14 plus 1 equals 15.
फिर कहा जाता है,
Then also
है, अष्टनायिका होता है,
8 kinds of heroines moods, Ashtanaika. 8 kinds of mood of heroines.
है, अभिसारिका से लेकर के
So starting in Abhisarika Naika, 8 moods of the heroines,
नायिका, बासुसज्जा,
Basa Sajika, and 8 moods of heroines.
15
So 15 times 8,
120 के बाद होता है
120.
होता है, उसमें नायिका में भी
So
उत्तम होता है,
then also 1 kind of Naika is Uttam, Madhyam, and Kanishta. So 3 more types. 3 more types. So it's 120 times 3. 360. That's it.
ये केवल मैथमेटिकल
So this is the mathematical calculation we're talking about.
है, इसके तो विस्तृत रूप में आपको जानना पड़ेगा,
So you have to know all this in details.
ग्रंथ में
And in the John Lamani book, it is explained. But at least learn about the mathematical calculation. Just like we say, how much is a plus b whole square? A square plus
इसके हम
2 times a times b plus b square.
करते हैं, है, ठीक इसी प्रकार
So like you know the formula like this. You just know the formula.
ये विचार चढ़ाया है, किंतु इसको थोड़ा आपको जानना ही पड़ेगा। इसमें 360
So 360 types of heroines and 96 types of hero.
अभी हम इसमें आ जाते हैं क्यों हम जो भगवान शब्द जो प्रयोग करते जा रहे हैं,
So when we say Bhagavan,
ये भगवान कौन है? न ब्रजनंदन
who is Bhagavan? Brajendranandan Shyamasundara Krishna.
के लिए नहीं उच्चारण नहीं हो रहा है
So it's not mentioning about Ram,
और अवतार बलि के लिए नहीं कहा रहा है।
nor also about the avatars.
यहाँ पर जो यद्यपि यहाँ भगवान शब्द लिखा गया
So although it's saying Bhagavan here,
भी अनेक अर्थों
what many meanings of the word Bhagavan also.
अन्यथा को तो
Bhagavan means
समर्थवान इति भगवान बच्चा
someone that makes the possible impossible and the impossible possible. He can change something which will happen, and he can also make something that is not going to happen happen. He is Bhagavan.
यहाँ पर भगवान शब्द
But here when they say Bhagavan, there's also one more special meaning,
6 प्रकार की
is that
शक्ति रहा
he has the 6 kinds of opulences.
जैसे श्री ज्ञान
All the fame, all the knowledge, all the strength, all the renunciation.
की डेफिनेशन दे
So this is the definition of the word Bhagavan.
ये भगवान शब्द की जो डेफिनेशन इसमें भी पूर्णता नहीं हो रहा है।
But even this Bhagavan definition is not complete.
इसी से हो रहा है कौन कृष्ण न धीर ललित कृष्ण
So Bhagavan here means Dhir Lalit and Krishna.
किया गया।
So when we speak about Naika Prakaran, 96 kinds of heroes,
श्रेष्ठ नायक कौन होता
the best hero is who?
है? धीर ललित नायक।
Dhir Lalita Naika.
नायक के गुण सर्वोत्तम रूप में
So the qualities of the Dhir Lalita Naika, they are highest
प्रकाशमान है।
manifested in Krishna, manifested in the highest way in Krishna.
धीर ललित नायक के जो है गुण जो 4 गुण होता है।
So Dhir Lalita Naika has 4 qualities.
एक गुण क्या होता है? 4
One
गुण
is,
क्या होता है?
okay, what are these 4 qualities?
पहले होता है क्या?
First of all,
प्रेयसी वशीभूता।
Preyasi Basibhuta, completely controlled by his beloveds.
प्रेयसी के द्वारा वो कंट्रोल
He is completely controlled by all his beloveds.
है। प्रेयसी वशीभूता कहा जाता है। और दूसरी क्या है?
And another,
परिहास
Parihas Patu.
है।
He's also so clever in joking and speaking. Third kind, third characteristic,
परिहास पटु और क्या बोलते हैं? नव नव यौवनंच। हाँ सदा सर्वदा नव यौवन
Nava Jovanancha. He's always
में जो है ये।
ever fresh, newly beautiful.
और चौथा क्या बताया?
And fourth quality of the Dhir Lalita Nayaka,
और एक है जो
one more.
अरे बोलते रहता हूँ फिर भूल जाता हूँ।
I will speak, but then I forget.
नव यौवनंच परिहास पटु
Nischintata. He's always free of anxieties. Nischintata.
एक होता है
One more is there.
जस्ट चलो स्मरण आ जाएगा।
Later we'll remember.
धीर ललित नायक की विशेष वैशिष्ट्य है।
So this is the speciality of the Dhir Lalita Nayaka.
कृष्ण वर्णन संस्कृत कृष्ण में ही
So
विराजमान है। और किसी में नहीं।
only Brajanandan Krishna is the Dhir Lalita Nayaka.
समझ में आया?
No one else.
यही भगवत्ता की जो सर्वोत्तम सीमा
So this highest limit of supremacy
ही प्रकाशमान
is only manifesting Brajanandan Krishna.
होता है। असमूर्ध तत्व कहा
So he's called Asamardha Tata.
जाता है। रस विचार में भी ब्रह्मन
So in Tata Vichar and also Ras Vichar, Brajanandan Shyamasundara, he is Asamardha Tata.
है उनके समान कोई नहीं।
He is unique and unparalleled.
निश्चिंतता है निश्चिंतता। क्यों? उन्होंने ब्रजराज होने के नाते
So Krishna is Nischintata, he is free of worries. Because
क्या बोले नंद महाराज के पुत्र के होने नाते
because he is the son of Nanda Maharaj, so he is always free of worries.
कोई दायित्व नहीं।
Someone who is Nischintata, he doesn't have any worry, no responsibility. So a king has so many responsibilities, right?
राजा होने के नाते
Like Ramachandra, he was the king, so he had so many responsibilities, he could not be free of worries.
कोई मठ के यदि संचालक
Suppose if you're director of a temple
आपके दायित्व रहा
or manager of a temple, president, you have so many responsibilities, right? For example, you have to manage the temple basically, isn't it?
संचालक होता है।
So the manager of the temple, president, has all the responsibilities.
उसके ऊपर
If anything happens, everything is the headache. He has so much tension because of everything.
ब्रह्मचारी कुछ भी करे
If any brahmachari does anything that happens, it's his tension, like for him.
लेकर के
Like collecting money, financial managing and management, everything ends up
दायित्व रहता
as his responsibility.
है। जहाँ पर दायित्व रहता है तो वहाँ
So if you have a responsibility, then you have
है, मन की विचलता होता है।
your mind is disturbed, mind restless.
हैं? अरे वो तो गिरा है 10 दिन के लिए नवदीप
So, for 10 days I was managing Navadvip Parikrama. I couldn't even sleep for 10 days when I was managing Navadvip Parikrama.
संचालन करने के लिए जो होता है ना,
So to manage something,
जो है विशाल जो है,
you need imagine to manage the gigantic parikrama.
हम करना चाहते हैं,
So
सबको हमको देखना पड़ता है।
if you make it nicely, you have to take care of everything.
तो दे दिया आपने,
You just give responsibilities to others and you
सोते रहे,
just sleep
हमारे सबको देखना पड़ता है,
sleep like without any worries. No, you have to check everything.
सबको दायित्व दिया है,
Yeah, maybe you delegate responsibilities, like you share responsibilities, but you have to also check if everything is running smoothly or not. On the day of Narasimha Pali, devotees didn't come. Then lunchtime I had to go to search where was the deity who had come or not. I went by car. And I took them by car, those devotees who hadn't come back.
ये करना पड़ता
Isn't it? You have to do that.
चल कोई बात नहीं,
And they were saying, oh, no, I don't have anything to do. They will come. So those who are managing, they're responsible.
और
So they are taking care of everyone, and they have the same love and affection towards everyone. Those who are managing, they must have the same love and affection for everyone. I don't think you know that, but on the day of Narasimha Pali, it was so hot, some devotees could not come back. So I got some car. I arranged, or I went. We went with the car of the temple until there, where some devotees were they couldn't walk further because of the heat, and then we put them to sit in the car to bring them back. So why
ठाकुर जी नहीं आ
So it was 2:30. 2:30. The deity hadn't come back, and the arati still hadn't been done, and also prasada not distributed.
होगा,
They offered the bhoga to the deity, but to distribute prasada first, the deity should be back. Those generally many devotees, they came by bus or they arranged themselves, and everybody was already sitting on the floor waiting for prasada, like many people.
आ रहे थे ठाकुर जी के पीछे,
But some devotees, they were carrying the palanquin of the deity and coming behind the deity. So if the deity hadn't come back yet, we could not distribute prasada yet.
नहीं कर सकते,
Actually, we cannot even have done the bhogarati. But if there's no bhogarati, we cannot give prasad to everyone also.
तो इसको दायित्व कैसे ऊपर रहता है?
Okay, so this responsibility is on the manager who is managing.
ठाकुर जी कैसे है?
How the deity will come back, where is the deity, all this tension. So you have to arrange that. Otherwise you're like, oh, I don't have anything to do. Then when the deity will come, like you're not involved. No, if you're managing, you have to get involved. Those who proper manage and make everything smoothly, like nicely, depends on this. Their responsibility and involving. So if you have responsibilities, you're always restless. You're worried, like tension and thinking about to solve the things. But Krishna, he's the son of Brajendranand. I mean, he's the son of the king of Vraj. So if there's no responsibility, then love can go very smoothly. There's no obstacle for the love. Because, for example, Ramchandra, he was the king. So there were so many obstacles for his love. Because actually the responsibility of the king is to take care of the subjects. So the love that he has for his wife is diminished because he has so many responsibilities for his subjects. It's reduced. So the love he has for his wife is reduced because he has responsibilities for his subjects. But Krishna doesn't have responsibilities like that. Krishna can love the gopis and hang out with them without any problem, any worries. Krishna is free-minded, free mind. Like a brahmachari is a free-mind person. He's only drinking and doing the seva which he's responsible for and taking prasad. But those who are managing, they have to see many things. Is everything okay or not? So maybe 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. I was checking everywhere. They had washed the dishes or not. Everything's okay. Anyway, they will do the things, but the manager has to check if everything is going okay. Like the manager of the temple, he has to see, because maybe the person who is responsible for something is maybe sick, so he has to has to again see who will do that day, because maybe the person is sick, the person who was meant to do that service. But Krishna is Dhirulata Nayak. He has no responsibilities. So this Bhagavan here in this verse is mentioning about Dhiralita Nayaka. He's going to perform Rasa Leela. He doesn't have any duties and responsibilities. He's free-minded. He can perform Rasa. So why Ramachandra did he not do Rasa Leela? He was not free-minded. He had so many duties and responsibilities. First of all, he was completely bound by the rules and regulations, Ramachandra, and also he was not free-minded. Dwarakadisha also, he's not free-minded. First of all, he's the king and he's married, so you have to take care of your wedded wife, otherwise problem. Satyabhama will complain and the wives will complain, isn't it? So if someone is not married to you, then different. That's why in Braja, Krishna didn't get married. Krishna said that Krishna didn't want to get married, yes, because otherwise he will not be able to do the Rasa Leela. He will be bound and he will be in tension. Because after marriage you have children, you have responsibilities, and then the prema reduces and divides. So that's why the prema in Braj, like the prema is divided in when you have children. Sorry, this is the word he used, divided, not reduce, he said divides. So three kinds of love. Sadarani Rati, Samanjasa Rati and Samartha Rati. So Rati like Prem. So these three kinds of Prem or Rati. So our Goswamis explain all these subtle things. So Bhagavan, one word here in the mention, in the verse, Bhagavan. But you see, by Bhagavan here is explaining Brajendrananda Shyamasundar. So, but here is not saying Krishna, it's only Bhagavan, Pita Ratri Sarandat Kula Malika. So by the word Bhagavan, which Bhagavan? Dhiralita Nayaka Krishna. So this word Bhagavan, Api, Opi. Opi means which Bhagavan? Dhiralita Nayak, Lalita Nayak Brajendrananda Shyamasundar. Taratri. He saw that night. So he is in the plural. Ratri is in the plural actually here. The word night is in the plural, like he saw the nights, like plural. In the grammar, how is it called? Like for example, if you say, anyway, so by the word Ratri, night, he saw all those nights. Means he also saw many nights before. But now it's a special night that he saw, and it's mentioning here. Which night? The Sarad Purnima, like the autumn season night he saw. Later we also describe. In the second verse explains. I think second or third verse explains. He saw the Raka Chandrama, that special full moon. So he saw also many nights and the moon also many nights. But now is a special occasion. He saw which kind of moon? Raka Chandrama, a special full moon. So the Raka Purnima, Raka Chandrama has as a speciality. What is the speciality? It's the full becomes moon in the Purnima. In the Chaturdasi, maybe a little bit, but in the Purnima is completely full. But in the Pratipad, in the first day, also the full is moon also. Oh, the moon is full also. So it's called Raka Chandrama, is a special full moon. So if you analyze the sun, the moon rise and moon set, and the time of the growth of the moon, so this moon is full in the Purnima, but also comes also to the Pratipad, the first day. So, like for example, there is a Pratipad Yukta Ekadasi, so you have to follow the Dwadasi, not Ekadasi. So I told you about this yesterday. So if the Ekadasi is touching Dashami Titi, you don't follow that Ekadasi, you follow the Shuddha Ekadasi. When the Ekadasi touches actually the Dwadasi, not the Dashami Titi.
दशमी के साथ यदि युक्त हो जाए उसको
So if the Ekadasi is touching the Dashami, the 10th day of the moon, then you don't follow that vow of fasting. You follow it in the next day.
विधा माना जाता है, किंतु एकादशी द्वादशी के साथ थोड़ा बहुत युक्त
But
हो
if
जाए,
the Ekadasi is connected with Dwadasi, the next day, then you follow that. It's
इस
yes.
शास्त्र में कहा गया
Some Shastra
दशमी
explains.
विधा एकादशी को पालन करना,
Dashami Vida Ekadasi, like Ekadasi touching the 10th day, Dashami Titi, we should never follow that.
राका पूर्णिमा की जो हम कह रहे
So
हैं,
the Raka Purnima we're mentioning,
चंद्रमा जी उदित हो रहा है, उसमें वो क्या था, वो दिन वो
So-
रात्रि कैसे था,
how was that night?
बहुत अपना सुशोभन था, इसलिए
Very
कहते हैं,
beautiful
भगवान
night.
की दाती,
It was a very beautiful night.
फुल्ल मल्लिका, एक तो शरद काल था,
First of all, it was autumn season.
शरद काल में प्रस्फुटित बेली चमेली माधवी मालती,
So many blossoming flowers were there, like Beli, Chameli, Madhavi, Malati.
तारात्रि उस रात्रि समूह के उपस्थित है, और उस समय मानो समस्त प्रकार की उद्दीपन जो है वहाँ पर
So all the kinds of Udipana assimilations also were there.
मल्लिका, शरद काल में पुष्प आदि क्या हो गया, विकसित हुए।
So in the autumn season, the flowers they blossom.
और दूसरी ऋतुओं के पुष्प भी गोविंद
But actually, the other flowers also of other season also manifested, also blossomed to serve Govinda. Because to serve Govinda,
प्रकृति देवी
Prakriti Devi herself,
व्यवस्था कर देते हैं,
she was arranging everything.
जैसे प्रधानमंत्री आने के
Just like if a prime minister is coming somewhere,
सारे मंत्री
immediately
सारे मंत्री
all the ministers also,
जितने भी नीचे तक जितने अफसर होता है,
all the officers,
अलर्ट हो जाता है,
they'll become alert to serve the prime minister.
इसलिए क्या हो जाता है,
And all of them, they will
अत्यंत तत्पर हो जाता है, प्रधानमंत्री
become very alert and making their duties very nicely, attentively, because the prime minister is coming. So in the same way, Brajanananda Krishna, Swami Bhagavan,
इस रासलीला करने के लिए
he's Dhira Nayaka and he's about to perform the Rasa Leela.
मनुष्य चक्र के द्वारा आगे हम भी
By the word Manas Chakre, will,
मन में
like in his mind, Krishna,
मन में जो अभिलाषा की,
he had that some desire in his mind. Which desire?
मैंने रमन करने की, मन में क्या अभिलाषा की,
Desire to
रमन करने की,
Raman,
रमन करने की,
Raman, like to enjoy or to have
वो जो करने के लिए
amorous affairs.
क्या कर रहे हैं ना, जोगमय उपासितम, जोगमय की आश्रय,
Then he took shelter of Jogamaya to be able to do that.
जो लीला आदि करते हैं,
Because the leelas that Bhagavan does, he always does under with Jogamaya.
अपने प्रेम माधुर्य का प्रकाश करते हैं,
And by Jogamaya he manifests his Prema Madhurya.
जोगमय
In the Gita Bhagavan explains,
है, जोगमय की तरह मैं अपनी लीला का प्रकाश करता हूँ,
I manifest my leelas with my Jogamaya.
सबके निकट नहीं,
Not in front of everyone.
अपने स्वरूप व माधुर्य के सबके निकट प्रकाश नहीं करता।
I don't manifest my form in front of everyone,
मेरे जो लीला आदि जो है वो जोगमय है,
but only by Jogamaya.
जोगमय है, जोगमय समाधि, जो जोगमय के द्वारा मैं स्वयं जो है अपने को छिपा लेता हूँ, अथवा जोगमय के द्वारा मैं स्वयं
I hide myself behind my Jogamaya and I also manifest my leelas through Jogamaya.
कई दिन तक जावत हम लोग इस श्लोक जो है बता रहे हैं,
So this shloka explains.
इसमें जो है प्रयोग है, यहाँ पर भी एक शब्द भी हमको भी बताया जाता था, ये भगवान परंतु मनुष्य चक्र, स्वयं भगवान रमन करने की मन
So
में
Swami Bhagavan,
है,
he desired to do these
भगवान शब्द
amorous
होता है,
affairs.
और एक शब्द इसमें रहता है, भगवान शब्द कहने से
So when you say Bhagavan,
और एक शब्द आचार्य पाद में कहते हैं,
the Acharyas also explain,
आप तो कामता, ये भगवान की एक स्वरूपगत
Atmaram,
धर्म कहा जाता है,
the natural characteristic of God is to be Atmaram and Aptakam.
आत्मारामता और अप्तकामता,
Atmaram and Aptakam.
ये भगवान की स्वरूपगत धर्म हो जाता है, आत्माराम का जैसे आत्मा में रमन करने वाली आत्माराम,
Atmaran, someone who
समस्त प्रकार के कामना पूर्ण हो जाता है, उसे अप्तकाम कहा जाता है,
all his desires, Atmaram, one who is self-satisfied, and Aptakam, all his desires are already fulfilled.
रूप में प्रस्फुटित करके
But the Acharyas also explain more meanings of Atmaram and Aptakam.
से आत्मा कौन है, संग राधा
Who is the Atma of Krishna? Shrimati Radhika.
वो राधा जी के साथ ही जो सदा सर्वदा प्रेम बिहार में जो
So he's always performing pastimes with Shrimati Radhika,
उसको भी
amorous pastimes. That's why he's called Atmaram, having happiness in his own self, because actually his Atma is Shrimati Radhika.
है, जो समस्त प्रकार की जिसकी आशा व इच्छा परिपूर्ण हो गया है।
Atmaram also,
वस्तु की आकांक्षा नहीं रहा।
Aptakam, he doesn't have any desire for anything in this world. Everything is already fulfilled for him.
ये भगवान की एक विशेष
So this is speciality of Bhagavan, Atmaram and Aptakam.
है। किंतु यहाँ पर भगवान ने रमन करने की इच्छा के इसके द्वारा जनाते कि वो रमन के आंतरिक अर्थ यह बाध्य नहीं है। आंतरिक अर्थ क्या है?
So the inner meaning is that
जो प्राण प्रियतम सखियों के साथ व राधा के साथ मिलन की
Krishna was eager to meet his beloved gopis, especially Shrimati Radhika.
गोपियां जो है वो क्या सब
So all the gopis actually, they came like
वास्तव रूप में कृष्ण जो रास करने के
as a secondary effect. Because actually,
सूक्ष्म क्या है?
the main desire, the real desire of Krishna was only to meet Shrimati Radhika. But the other gopis that also came along, they came as like a secondary effect.
समझ में?
Like, understand?
ये विशेष होता है। अर्थात राधा जी के साथ रमन, राधा
Means to do Radha Raman, like to enjoy Shrimati Radhika and Mara's pastimes. This was his goal, to be Radha Raman, to enjoy Shrimati Radhika.
देखो
So,
भगवान की लीला जो है प्रापंचिक अतीत होने पर भी प्रपंच में अवतीर्ण होकर श्री भगवान नौनलीला के अनुकरण अर्थात नौनलीला के समान अपने अपराकृत लीलाओं को प्रकट करते हैं, जिसके द्वारा
Krishna manifests his leelas in this material world to give more bliss to the devotees, happiness to the devotees.
की इच्छा की इसके द्वारा जाना जाता है कि वो रमन आंतरिक अर्थ है, यह बाध्य नहीं। आंतरिक होने पर भी पुनः भगवान की
So his main desire was to
इच्छा केवल ब्रजसुंदर के मनोरथ का पूर्ण करने के लिए नहीं होती, अपितु उसके द्वारा ही अपना मनोरथ भी पूर्ण करने की इच्छा होती है। बिहार में दो प्रकार होता है।
So there are two kinds of bihar,
दूसरे के सुख देना, अपने सुख प्राप्ति करना।
like enjoyment like this. One to give happiness to the beloved, another to get happiness from him, from her. But sometimes you see that the more special is give happiness to the other.
संसार में देखा जाता है,
Suppose in this material world also,
रसोई बनाती है,
the mother is cooking.
माँ अपने सुख के लिए रसोई नहीं बना रही है,
The mother is not cooking for herself.
अपने पुत्र कन्या
She's cooking for her sons, daughters, husband, to give them happiness. So all the service of the mother is for their happiness.
है, किंतु ये सुख उनके सुख होने से उनके भी सुख।
But if they become happy, she also becomes happy.
जैसे आपने इतने कष्ट करके
Like suppose you are cooking so much hard endeavors, you're cooking,
पति के दिया, जैसे भी
then you give to your husband or
यदि ये प्रसन्न
anyway.
हो, आप प्रसन्न होगे।
If he becomes happy,
यदि वो प्रसन्न नहीं है,
if it doesn't become pleased, maybe you put so much salt in the sabji, he'll say, oh, what is this?
कठोर परिश्रम
You'll be upset because you did so much hard endeavor, that food, and he was not even pleased, so you'll be upset.
यदि सब्जी यदि अच्छा बना है,
But if you cooked very well that sabji and your husband praise you, oh, it was really nice,
उसके साथ आपके मन
then your husband will become pleased and also you will be happy also because everything was worth it. So from his happiness you will also be happy.
सुख दोनों तरफ आ रहे हैं।
So the happiness comes like in two ways, and the unhappiness also comes in two ways.
सब्जी बनाया,
So you did so much endeavors for cooking that sabji and your husband is not happy, so then you become upset as well. Like, oh, everything was in vain, I did so much and it was not even worth it. My husband, like, you'll be upset.
कष्ट के बनाया जब पति सुखी कार्य में,
But if you also gave so much, like, to cook that and your husband was happy, oh, you cooked so well. You didn't even eat yet. Another person is eating the food, your husband. But if he becomes pleased, you'll be so happy.
प्रसन्नता दोनों तरफ होती जा रही है।
So
खाने
this
वाला और खिलाने वाला।
So the one who eats and the one who feeds also becomes happy. So the happiness or being happy comes in two ways, and also unhappiness also in two ways. Like, okay, I have to finish the kata. 7:15 already.
भगवान की जो
So
इच्छा है, रमन इच्छा केवल ब्रजसुंदर के मनोरथ पूर्ण करने के लिए नहीं होती, अपितु इसके द्वारा उन्हें अपने मनोरथ भी पूर्ण करने की इच्छा होती है। इसलिए रंतु मनश्चक्र पद के
so
अपने पद
Manas Chakra means is in the like first person. Atmanipad and Parasmipad, like means your own. Krishna wanted to give happiness to the gopis, but also himself also he wanted to be happy by doing these pastimes with the gopis.
यहाँ क्रियाकर्ता फलभोगी होता है, वही आत्मने प्रयोग का होता है। और जहाँ पर आत्मनिपद युक्त होने के कारण रमन करता अर्थात श्री कृष्ण ससुख भी शादी होते रहा, वह सूचित हो रहा है। कृष्ण भी सुख हो रहा।
Yeah, Krishna also be happy. Would be happy.
इसलिए कहता है उत्तम अद्भुतो प्रेमानो ब्रजसुंदरो, इस वाक्य के द्वारा यह समझना जाता है कि ब्रजसुंदर के प्रेम में कुछ भी ऐसी अद्भुत शक्ति है जिससे आकृष्ट होकर स्वतः कृष्ण।
So there is some amazing thing in the prema of the gopis, that even Krishna, who is pleased in his own self, Atmaram, he is attracted by this love.
इसके द्वारा ब्रजसुंदर की भी आकर्षित उत्कर्षता सूचित हुआ है।
So this is indicating also how the gopis are so attractive and the love is so attractive.
सर्व दुखहारी मधुसूदन ने अपने किशोर आयु का आदर कर ब्रजसुंदर।
So Vishnu Purana explains that for many nights Krishna performed many amorous pastimes with the gopis while they were in youth, like when they are young. So Rasa Leela was not for one night but for many nights. So Taratri is in the plural.
जय जय श्री राम। याद रहेगा?
You remember the types of hero and heroine, Nayaka Prakaran and Nayika Prakaran. I have to remember it. Did they cut? Yeah. Chai Slagrudev.